For my last 3 Grid Life seasons, I've competed in Time Attack, a series where you race against the clock to get the fastest lap. Through my seasons, my Civic has gone through many changes: engines, transmissions, suspension, and more. But the most visually striking being the Valvoline livery. This truly changed the Civic from being a weekend track weapon to a full-on race car. But this season, I'm changing classes to wheel-to-wheel racing. And with that comes another visually striking change: a new livery. This is my fully prepped GLTC spec Honda Civic now, and we're ready to go racing this weekend at Watkins Glen International. But I need to show you a few things that I did off camera to get this car ready for the new class, and a lot of that included safety equipment. Thankfully, a few companies wanted to sponsor us to make sure that we stay safe this year. One of those companies is RaceQuip, who sent out this full containment seat. If I get into a side impact, it'll protect my head, and I've also got this window net here to protect myself from any flying debris. Simpson has also chipped in to make sure that my body stays completely fire resistant. So I've got gloves, shoes, and also a full flame suit. But arguably the coolest looking piece of all, Stilo sent over a full carbon fiber helmet. So now I'm safe and I got style points. We've also now got full fire suppression. So there's 3 nozzles in the engine bay and 2 nozzles in the cockpit. I pull a lever and it sets off basically a fire extinguisher, completely coating the car in the case of a fire. I've also put in these flat door panels to protect myself from any window glass in the case of a side impact. And maybe the coolest piece of all, the F1 FIA rain light. So now that we got all this extra safety, let's go to Watkins Glen.
Since 1948, the sounds of sports car racing have echoed off glacier-carved hillsides at the southern tip of Seneca Lake. The sky blue steel lining the track here has decades of stories to tell, those from the golden era of Formula One, IMSA, IndyCar, and NASCAR. Welcome to Watkins Glen International, and welcome to Grid Life at the Glen.
So we're here at Watkins Glen International, which is a big boy track. It's very intimidating, high speed, high flowing, big. It's gonna be like over a 2-minute lap. This is gonna be my first time going door to door, wheel to wheel racing. There are 54 cars in GLTC this weekend, which is the largest GLTC weekend they've ever had. I am one of 3 rookies here. I'm gonna not win. I'm just gonna go ahead and set that expectation right now. My goal is to beat 1 car. If I can do that, I'm happy. I have detuned the car to 203.8 horsepower. Previously it was around 230. So I've cut out almost 30 horsepower to be in this class. It's a power to weight class. So I will be going door to door with Corvettes and everything, making a lot more power, but they're heavier. Everything should balance out so that all cars are perfectly equal on track. My car will be slightly slower than it was in Club TR spec because I'm making a little bit less horsepower. So we'll see what it does. But right now, I gotta get out on track. A weekend of driving in GLTC works slightly different than a weekend in Time Attack. GLTC follows mostly the same format as other popular wheel-to-wheel racing series like Formula 2 and IMSA. There is 1 practice session, 1 qualifying session, and then finally there are 4 races over the course of a weekend.
Hi, I'm James Houghton. I'm driving the number 41 K2 Unit 2 Fabrication Acura TSX in the GLTC series. I enjoyed Time Attack so much. GLTC is a little bit different for me. I feel like if you had a car that was very fast, you could drive the car 9/10 and you could still get, a record, a fast lap. You cannot race in GLTC and expect to be at the front if you are not willing to drive 10/10 laps all the time. There's no, I'm not going to use all the curbing in the bus stop. You use all the curbing in the bus stop or you won't be in the top 5.
Yeah, the competition has just constantly been going up, and the amount of new drivers coming in that are the best of the best, it's been pretty intense because you gather the best drivers from all these different series, NASA, SCCA, endurance racing, and you kind of put them all in this GLTC class, and you have some epic races.
At any given time, you could have 10 different guys that could be at the front. Last year at Mid-Ohio, I think 10 of us were within a second or less. The C5 to me is the car for GLTC right now. Last year it was the S2000. There was a couple tracks where we were stronger than them, but last year they had a strong advantage at most of the tracks we went to. This year the C5 so far seems to be the car to beat.
able to complete a lap because I started noticing some smoking. Then it got a little bit worse. On my out lap, my axle seemed to have popped out and I'm leaking transmission fluid. It is a new axle clip, so I'm not quite sure why it's backing out, and we're gonna try to figure it out. These are the depressing moments in these experiences that I don't like.
I will say, you know, time attack, you know, you can get a lap time throughout the entire weekend, right? But GLTC, you have to be on it pretty much every session. Qualifying, you got to be on it. The races, you got to be on it. Like, you're always at 110%. It's cool having Ben in the series. You know, I've been talking to Ben a lot. I feel like I've been his mobile parts supplier. I feel like he's going to learn that you really have to fine tune that car to the series, and you have to optimize it to the class to get every 10th out of it.
Mark has now replaced the axle clip, hopefully prevent the axle from popping out if that was the issue, and we've also got a new axle seal in there. We roll up to qualifying in 3 minutes.
It's so nice to see Ben out here with the Civic, 2021 Club TR champion. But I think what Ben is going to realize very quickly is you had the whole weekend before to set a fast lap time in Club TR. Now you have like a gun to your head in qualifying. You will do this right now. You might only have 5 or 7 minutes to do your fast lap time. There is no waiting, there is no anything. You must do your fast lap right now. And I think he'll get it, but I think it is a different thing, and it takes some time to get used to for sure.
This is qualifying. This sets the grid for our first race. There are over 50 cars on our entry list, Greg. It is an enormous entry list. Here's Jeremy Swenson working his way through turn number 10. The 2021 Grid Life Touring Cup champion currently leads the points. He's had a real successful year so far.
The number 41 we were talking about, once again, really a rocket in a straight line. You can see does not have a ton of aero on that car.
Well, we're still having mechanical issues, but I turned some laps. There's more refinement to do to the car, and certainly more refinement to do from a driving perspective. We're gonna go into the first race now, where it'll probably start raining during the race. The rest of the weekend is looking pretty wet.
Yeah, the C5s have kind of keep multiplying in this class. The pecking order, I like to think I'm at the top, but also right now I'm not. I qualified third for race 1 here, and so we'll see. I got to add a little bit of weight. Track conditions are changing, so anything could happen.
You know, this track, it's gonna be tricky in the wet. You gotta, you know, be careful with the brakes. Of course, my car doesn't have ABS, so, you know, you kind of run the risk of locking up, stalling the engine, stuff like that.
You can't tell 50 really competitive people, hey guys, you're up here, I need you to bring it down here. That goes in everyone's one ear and comes out the other side. So I would like to have it as low a risk as possible with the most competition as possible, and I feel like sometimes rain doesn't lead to that.
Hi everybody, Kyle Heyer, joined on my left by Greg Creamer. Greg, welcome back. This racetrack, this series, what a combination.
It really is. I mean, you've got arguably one of the most exciting racing series in North America. This first race for the Touring Cup car is going to be on a damp track. It just ups the ante. The 166 of Ben Thorne. Watch for him in that front-wheel drive.
Yeah, first ever GLTC race, and a heck of a way to start things off. Here we go, green flag flies, and we're green flag at Watkins Glen. Walbaum has looped it. Sid Houghton's way off course at 10, and Walbaum spun at turn 10. He's back rolling back straight, but he must have pushed a little too far.
Now here comes Rosenberg, does the switch over.
Wow.
It's going to happen again, maybe. Look at that.
That was incredible. Rosenberg goes the long way around up on the curb. That's very slippery. He can't accelerate. Houghton drives away into second place.
Yeah, and that one really costly for Swenson, as both Walbaum and Coutil able to get through, and that should push Swenson back into the 6th spot.
He started in 48 because he didn't think that he could drive in the rain, and he went up 10 positions.
Checkered flag. James Houghton out of Kitchener, Ontario wins race 1 of Grid Life Touring Cup at Watkins Glen. Walbaum eclipses the fastest lap again. It'll put him on pole for tomorrow, but second best in this race.
You made it to 36th.
36?
36th place. 12 positions in the rain in a Honda Civic.
Yeah. So the way that they do GLTC for race 2, I'm not going to start in 36th position. I'm going to be actually further up than that.
Okay.
Because they're going to do it. They do it by lap time. Well, day 2 here at Watkins Glen. It is a little colder today. I felt pretty good in the first race, albeit I was starting in the back, dead last. Now I am gridded where I belong, which is 28th, middle of the pack out of 54 cars. Car's feeling good. I'm not having that axle issue so much because we're not driving super fast. And let's see if we can make some passes.
So we're putting a data box in the car. We use it for compliance for GLTC, check acceleration rates and all that for parity.
So you make sure he's not cheating?
Yeah, basically, yeah. You guys have a history, so we got to make sure that you're not cheating.
We're devilish.
Yeah.
We're devilish.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably just let a bunch of cars pass me on the first lap. I think that's my strategy, so that I don't wreck. And then after that, after things settle down, then I'm gonna start attacking. I think that's my plan.
Flag flies, and we're green flag racing at Watkins Glen. 3 abreast already. The 207 of Adam Wood didn't get a very good start. Down to turn 1, side by each into that first corner, Greg. Houghton accelerating past Matt Waldbaum on the back straightaway, going for the lead again. He's got it.
I'm not happy right now. I don't know what's going on with Thorne, but he dropped back to, I believe it's 35th place.
Swenson.
Whoa!
Oh! Swenson started to.
Wow!
That was really close. Now Swenson squares underneath. Is this going to play out?
Side by side up towards turn 2. Jeremy Swenson makes the pass on James Houghton.
Look at the run now that Houghton gets up along the outside, side by side, heading into that inner loop. Houghton's through.
He's got it back, and that's where that car has been so good here this weekend. Checkered flag for James Houghton. Second win on the weekend. He wins race 2 at Watkins Glen. And now to the stripe, Jeremy Swenson and Matt Waldbaum. And here comes Eric Cattell side by side. Swenson second. Photo finish for Waldbaum and Cattell, but Waldbaum clings on to third.
That was insane. I've never been so happy to get passed by so many cars though. It's like opening lap and I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone's just going for it. I thought it was gonna be kind of chill and we work into it, but no, I like 10 cars passed me in the first 2 turns. And I didn't even care because I went 4 wide through turn 1 and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm just assuming there's always a car, like 1 car length around me. Yeah, that was wild.
The race yesterday and the race this morning, the track was getting wetter and wetter. This one, conceivably, the track could get drier and drier as it goes, which means it gets faster and drivers can get a little braver. And so we could see some, I expect we're going to see some absolutely fabulous racing in this one as well.
Green flag flies, and we're racing down the hill towards the 90.
Boy, and Vidak got a great launch, moved way over to the right in that Acura. There you can see him, not going to do much with it, tucks in, but look at that, Swenson into the lead. And Houghton just went around the outside, coming up through turn, I think, 3. He may have made that pass. It's a drag race now down to the inner loop.
Hale hounding the 2021 season champion, ripping the long way around, trying to get past the number 3 Corvette, and he does.
I don't know how I'm sitting here right now. I 540'd the car, 100 miles an hour, and avoided the walls and avoided getting hit somehow. But I need to look at that footage because, and I also need a change of underwear. Like, holy crap. Well, I started getting into the groove of things. Shaved off like 4 seconds off of my lap times from before, so I'm certainly getting more comfortable. And I nicked the rear left tire on the curbing, and that immediately sent my car into a slide, which I caught, and then it slapped the other way, which I caught, and then it slapped the other way, which I did not catch, and almost went barreling into a wall, and now I'm back to being terrified. I'm about where I think I belong-ish in the grid. The car certainly belongs higher up. I'm just driving super passively because I'm super nervous about hitting somebody else. Once the first couple laps die off, then I start kind of picking up the pace a little bit and seeing where I fold in. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
So we do a random invert in the last race of the weekend. Unfortunately, it's an 11-car invert, which means I'm starting 9th, and the conditions are probably the worst they've been all weekend. So this is going to be a sketchy race. Just going to try to keep it clean, run consistent, and hopefully get that podium by the end of the weekend. So wish me luck, I guess. Well, after that mishap in the last race, I think I'm going to change my strategy again back to survive.
Final race of the weekend. This is going to be a little bit of a short one, Greg. We're running out of track time here.
Yep.
Not a lot of laps, not a lot of opportunity to move your way forward. 11-car invert in this final race of the weekend.
Is currently in 25th place, which he started out, I believe it was in 26, so he moved up a space.
You could tell, man, he is just going to be relentless in this attack right now on Mendez.
Watch the footwork here. He's got the pedal all the way to the round. Look at the outside pass into turn 11. What a move by Eric Cattell. Checkered flag, Luke McGrew out of Hurricane, West Virginia. Checkered flag, he hangs on by 2 car lengths over Kevin Zhu. Emil Tab 3rd, Eric Cattell in 4th, and Waldbaum, Houghton 5th and 6th.
So pumped, we got first on the weekend, and what an amazing trophy from Grid Life.
Yeah, dude, we finished P3 overall for the weekend, which I'm super pumped about.
What a weekend. This was absolutely crazy. Not at all what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting rain for my first ever wheel-to-wheel driving, let alone at Watkins Glen. Obviously, I'm not holding any trophies. It's gonna be a while before this car is running anywhere near the front, let alone getting podiums like Eric Cattell, James Houghton, Jeremy Swenson. But we have a great model laid out for us with those drivers that we can learn from and improve. The car is way faster and way more compliant than I need right now. I mean, these Fortunato dreadnoughts on this thing are a godsend. The car is so stable, even over curbing, it's pretty stable so long as it's dry. But for now, I'm happy with this result. We'll see you in the next one.